Hi, friends and family. I just want to give you an update. I'm feeling amazing, and I know my last video, I met with the doctor in July, and he said I'm in complete remission, and I'm not on any medication, and I actually meet with him next Monday, so I'm expecting more good news. And this summer, I went on a whole food, plant-based diet. I was experiencing some neuropathy in my feet, terrible brain fog. My intestines were messed up, my bladder, and through a series of tests the doctors ran, they could find nothing wrong, but I'm just believing that, or I just know that it was from the chemo. It totally burnt my insides out. So with the plant-based diet that I've been enjoying, it has completely cleared my brain fog. The neuropathy is gone in my feet. My intestines and bladder is I'd say 99% back to normal. But most importantly, my running is 100% better than it was over 2 years ago. I mean, I had been experiencing these symptoms a lot longer than I knew what was going on. And it felt like I had somebody on my chest when I would run. And I ran about 4 weeks ago after not having run for about 2 weeks. And I could have just ran for a marathon. I was feeling amazing. So it's been so long that I forgot how good I could feel from running. So with that being said, I am right back to work and doing amazing. And I believe I'm going to continue to go that way and not hear any negative news. All that being said, I just want to back up because I'd like to explain some of the miracles in my life, and I know I've expressed them before, but it was in September of 2021, I received the COVID vaccine, and then 6 weeks later, I was getting profuse nosebleeds. I would be running on my running trail, and I literally have to lay down with my head up. There's just blood everywhere, and this poor man was the same guy every time. He'd see me, and he's like, "Girl, what is wrong with you? I keep seeing you with a nosebleed." I'm like, "I know," but it wouldn't even stop. I'd be running, just pouring out. But so that was going on for about 3 weeks. That subsided, and that was 5 months later. I started experiencing symptoms which I didn't know at the time they were anything correlating with what was going on with my body. And so it was swelling in my legs and in my abdomen, and I had carpal tunnel in both my hands and diarrhea, and I had what they call frothy urine, which it was just protein in the urine. So that was about January, February, March, all that started. And then in September, I had just flown in from South Africa to Newark, which is my base. And then I flew down to Orlando, which is where I live. And then I had to drive up to Daytona, which was an hour and a half, and then drive 4 hours south to Fort Myers Beach to celebrate my girlfriend Connie's 60th birthday with our friends Dawn and Joni and Colleen and Maria and Tanya and Dawn's sister Kimmy. And it was down there, well, on my drive down, that my legs were so swollen, and my girlfriend Michelle called me. She lives in Jacksonville. She's a flight attendant and a nurse, and she had called me regarding a whole nother situation, and asked, and I asked her right before we hung up about my legs swelling. She asked me to send her a picture. So when I got to Fort Myers and got out of the car, and Colleen's like, "Girl, what the hell is wrong with your legs?" And we took a picture and sent it to Michelle, and she said, "You got to see a doctor, like right away." And I said, "Well, I got a 60th birthday party. I'm planning on dancing, and it's going to be fun time, so it's not going to happen." And I ended up waiting till, that was Thursday. Friday morning, Michelle is walking on the beach in Jacksonville and happened to be a cardiologist from Mayo Clinic, Dr. Jay Schneider, and they start talking about something completely random. And before she walks away, she got a prompting to ask him about my legs and showed him a picture of my legs. And he said, this woman's got to get to ER now. And he had suspected it was going to be blood clots. So she texted me, you need to go to an ER now. And I was like, I have a dancing party tonight. I'm planning on cutting the rug, so it's not going to happen. And I was feeling great, other than I was swollen and a little tired. But fast forward, go to the party, dance all night, get back to the beach house, and my girlfriend Colleen pulls my pant leg up and takes me. It's like, we're going to the ER. And her and Maria schlepped me to the ER at 2 o'clock in the morning, stayed with me all night. They checked me out, said my heart was fine, my liver was fine, my kidneys were fine, and I probably had some degenerative vein disease and I needed to see a vein specialist. And the next day I sent the results to Michelle, and it said on there I had a septal infarct, which means a heart attack. And I'm like, I did not have a heart attack. So then she sent it to the cardiologist on Saturday morning, and he said, she needs to get to an ER. She had a heart attack. I'm like, I did not have a heart attack. So all weekend long, Dr. Schneider is texting Michelle, how is your friend doing? How is your friend doing? And he had only seen a picture of these big, thick, swollen legs. And he was an angel, because he was very adamant that I contact him, and he kept telling her, have her call me, have her call me. And I finally called him Sunday night, and we talked. I told him what was going on, and then he said, well, you're seeing a doctor tomorrow, and he gave me a list of tests he wanted me to have run. And he said, call me after you see the doctor. And then he said, in the meantime, sleep with your legs upright. And I said, well, that's going to be hard to do because I already sleep sitting upright because I have carpal tunnel. He goes, where? And I said, in both hands. And he said, okay, wow. And then he said, well, there's something called AL amyloidosis, and that causes carpal tunnel and the swelling. And as he's talking to me, I'm looking it up on my phone, and it's saying prognosis, 2 years life expectancy, and heart transplant, liver transplant, kidney. I mean, and I'm crying, and he's like, yeah, you're going to see the doctor, we'll see what happens. We'll get the test results, da-da-da-da. But everything I was reading was showing such a dire prognosis. So the next day, was actually a nurse, physician's assistant, and he didn't even know how to spell amyloidosis when I told him that this doctor suspected that. Anyway, we ran the tests, and I called Dr. Schneider, asked me to call him after my appointment, and I said the doctor didn't know how to spell amyloidosis, and he said, you're coming up here tomorrow. So he got me up into Mayo Clinic, into his office, and I'm sitting with Michelle, and I said, so like, what's the future hold? And he says, well, you'll probably need a heart transplant. Just so matter of factly, to this day, I'm like, could you just use a little bit more tact? So anyway, fast forward, that was Tuesday. I was diagnosed with amyloidosis Wednesday. He got me in on Thursday. I started chemo on Friday. They did a bone marrow biopsy on Friday. So a week from when I drove down there, and my girlfriends noticed the swelling of my legs. Within a week, I was starting chemo. And the following week, after they did a bone marrow biopsy that Friday, I was diagnosed the following Tuesday with multiple myeloma. And I go back to, he was a guardian angel God sent down. He was truly an angel who saved my life. It was diagnosed early. He actually diagnosed me over the phone. And amyloidosis is a rare disease, actually becoming more common, sadly. But it's a rare disease that I was told by the oncologist up there that the cardiologists down in the Daytona area might see one case a year. So I could have gone undiagnosed for 6 months to a year, and my prognosis would have been looking a lot worse. So it was caught so early, and I was in pretty much great shape. And the doctor has run extensive tests on my heart, said there was no damage done. And again, when I run, I feel like that. So as you noticed in my videos, I had started out saying my amyloidosis and my multiple myeloma, and my pastor, speaking with him last October, and I said, I have blah, 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 and he said, don't claim it. And I just want to pass this on to anybody who is diagnosed with any disease. Your words are powerful, and they do speak death and life into you. And ever since then, I have never claimed it. I've only said I was diagnosed with it, but I am never claiming any disease or any infliction on me. And I truly recommend that thought process, and has got me over a lot of humps, and not to mention the prayers and the uplifting texts and cards and the love that I have felt miles and miles and miles away, but they've been reaching me. And I know I've thanked everybody. I can't thank you enough how it carried me through. It was a lonely journey, not going through it with anybody by my side, which might have been my preference, but I had God, and I was drawn very, very near to Him through it all. And in my incredible health right now, I'm actually missing that intimacy with my Creator. Jesus met me right where I needed to be met, and I'm so grateful. So I know this is a little long. I didn't expect it to be, but again, I just wanted to give you an update, and I'm planning on smooth sailing from here on out. Oh, another quick blessing out of all of this. After I was through with this, I never wanted to hear the word cancer again. But through the Chris Beat Cancer website, I've found an organization called Healing Strong. And what we do is support other people who are diagnosed with cancer, who have chosen to either go through it traditionally and want to supplement with nutritional additives, whether whole food, plant-based, or supplements. And so actually I'm starting a group in my area in Daytona Beach, and I've had a lot of people sign on. We have our first meeting coming up in a week and a half. So I could actually ask for prayers that I could be a mentor, or I feel very inadequate. But I know God didn't bring me through this for it to go to waste. So I know He'll use my story to help somebody else, and for that I'm very grateful. Anyway, I love you all. God bless, and have a happy, happy Thanksgiving.